Hey, baseball fans. Welcome back to Tits and Streams, your go-to channel for daily baseball predictions. I'm Koken, and I'm here to give you the inside scoop on today's top matchups. Before we dive into today's picks, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our latest predictions. If you enjoy our content, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends who love baseball and sports betting. Our channel relies entirely on your support. We don't have any sponsors, so every like, share, and comment helps us keep going. If you'd like to support us even more, consider donating by pressing the thanks button under this video. We love hearing from you. Drop a comment below. Your feedback makes our channel better. All right, let's get into today's predictions. Today we have predictions for 4 MLB games. The first prediction for today is for a game between the Tampa Bay Rays and Baltimore Orioles. The Baltimore Orioles and Tampa Bay Rays are gearing up for a crucial showdown, one that could have significant implications for the AL East standings. While the Rays seem to hit the brakes around the All-Star break, the Orioles are pressing forward with a strong sense of urgency. Last year's playoff exit stung Baltimore, and they're playing like a team determined to change their postseason fortunes this year. They're neck and neck with the Yankees, and though tied in losses, the Orioles have played an extra game, giving them a slight advantage in the standings. As the season draws to a close, it's clear the AL East race will be fiercely contested until the very end. Both teams have taken their share of losses, and this season might not even produce a 100-game winner. The Orioles and Yankees are prime examples of just how competitive the division has become, with no clear runaway leader. The Orioles will look to their prized off-season acquisition, Corbin Burnes, to take the mound in this pivotal game. Burnes, a former Cy Young winner, was brought in to bolster Baltimore's rotation, and he's had some solid outings. However, his consistency has been questionable. He's shown flashes of dominance, like in his recent starts against the White Sox and Dodgers, but also had his struggles, such as when 6 runs crossed the plate in his previous start against Los Angeles, although only 1 was earned. Burnes enters this matchup with a 3.19 ERA, having allowed 20 homers and struck out 154 batters in 169.1 innings. However, his recent form has been shaky, as evidenced by a 4.02 ERA over his last 3 starts. On the other side, the Rays will send Zach Littell to the hill. Littell isn't known for overpowering stuff, but he's had a solid season, sporting a 3.89 ERA. When he's hit, though, it's often hard. He's given up 20 home runs while striking out 116 and walking just 26. In his last 3 outings, Littell has been sharp with a 1.72 ERA. He'll face a Baltimore lineup that has been solid against right-handers recently. Offensively, neither team has been lighting up the scoreboard against right-handed pitchers. The Rays are hitting .225 in their last 10 games, while the Orioles are batting .244. The real difference maker might be the bullpens. Baltimore's relievers have been stellar, posting a 2.10 ERA over the last 10 games, while Tampa Bay's bullpen has struggled a bit with a 3.74 ERA. Baltimore certainly has a lot to play for, but the Rays have struggled against them recently, dropping 7 of their last 8 meetings. Still, I'm picking Tampa Bay as the underdog in this one. Zach Littell, despite his underwhelming win-loss record and ERA, could surprise. Fresh off a stint on the injured list, he's had extra rest, which might help him find an edge against a tough Orioles lineup. Littell's familiarity with Baltimore's hitters, along with Tampa's ability to perform on the road, could be enough to swing this game in their favor. The Rays' offense, led by players like Yandy Diaz, has the firepower to back Littell and pull off a win in this crucial matchup.
Welcome to BetUS, Sportsbook and Casino, your ultimate hub for secure and thrilling sports betting and casino gaming. BetUS is one of the oldest and most reliable online sportsbooks in the U.S., serving millions of clients all over the globe each month. BetUS, trusted for over 30 years, offers huge welcome bonuses, countless betting options, and many deposit and payout methods. Depositing funds is a breeze and safe, with a minimum deposit of just $10. Payouts are fast and hassle-free, beginning at only $50. Choose from various payout options like MoneyGram, couriered check, cryptocurrency, or bank wire. Signing up is quick and easy. For signing up, you can use the link in the description and enjoy a generous 125% welcome bonus of up to $3,000. By signing up using the link in the description, you'll also support us as we earn a small commission from your registration at BetUS. Thank you for supporting us. Join now and start winning.
The second prediction for today is for a game between the Philadelphia Phillies and Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins are set to take on the Philadelphia Phillies in what could shape up to be a lopsided contest. The Marlins are languishing at the bottom of the NL East, battling it out with the Colorado Rockies for the dubious honor of having the worst record in the National League. Last season, this team was playoff-bound, but this year has been a different story. From the start, they were hampered by a bullpen that consistently fell apart late in games, making any lead feel like it could vanish in a heartbeat. Think of how the Chicago White Sox have struggled this season. It's been a similar story. To make matters worse, Sandy Alcantara, their reigning Cy Young Award winner, started the season on the injured list and is still out after undergoing Tommy John surgery. Other key arms like Edward Cabrera and Jesus Luzardo have been inconsistent in their availability, which has only added to the team's instability. Realizing this season wasn't going to go their way, the Marlins decided to part with some of their top talent, including Luis Arias and their closer, signaling a shift toward rebuilding. They're sticking to their usual low-budget approach, looking ahead to brighter days. On the mound for Miami is Max Meyer, who's been hit or miss this season. He's had some moments where his potential shines through, but has also been shelled on more than one occasion, with a 5.68 ERA on the year and a 5.94 ERA in his last 3 starts. On the flip side, the Phillies are sitting pretty at the top of the NL East, holding a comfortable lead all season. They've had the division on lock even when they've hit rough patches. Rookie Seth Johnson will get the start for Philly. Recently promoted from AAA Lehigh Valley, Johnson has impressed with a minuscule 0.56 ERA, allowing just 5 hits and 1 earned run over 16 innings. He spent much of the season in Single A, where he also posted strong numbers. The Phillies believe they've found a hidden gem, and this could be his moment to shine. While the Marlins have been hitting right-handed pitchers at a 2.73 clip over the last 10 games, slightly better than the Phillies' 2.61, their bullpen has been a train wreck all season long. Miami's relievers have a 5.08 ERA over the last 10, compared to Philly's steady 2.87 ERA. I'm typically hesitant to back a team with a pitcher making his MLB debut, especially when that pitcher isn't a highly touted prospect expected to dominate right away. However, the Phillies are the superior team, and the Marlins' ongoing struggles make it hard to bet on them. Plus, Edward Cabrera hasn't lived up to his potential despite flashes of talent. Considering the Phillies' odds, the Marlins' abysmal 2-8 record in their last 10 home games, and Philadelphia's more reliable bullpen, and maybe promising pitching prospect, I'm leaning toward the Phillies on the money line. The price is solid, and there's a noticeable gap between these two teams right now. The third prediction for today is for a game between the Minnesota Twins and Kansas City Royals. As the American League season reaches its final stretch, the Minnesota Twins and Kansas City Royals are gearing up for a crucial showdown that could have a major impact on the playoff race. Both teams are neck and neck in the standings, and the outcome of this game could shift the balance as they fight for a postseason spot. Both the Twins and Royals have managed to hold off other contenders like the Yankees, Mariners, Red Sox, and Tigers, who haven't been able to gain much ground. Interestingly, the Royals have played one more game than the Twins, which might play a role as the race tightens. However, in this stage of the season, it's the games in the loss column that really matter, since those are the ones that teams can't get back. The pressure is on both teams to secure as many wins as possible. This game will feature a pitching duel between Michael Wacha for the Royals and Simeon Woods-Richardson for the Twins. Wacha has been a dependable arm for Kansas City this year, despite a rough outing against the Guardians earlier this season. He managed to bounce back in his last start, allowing just 2 runs. However, the Royals dropped both of his last 2 starts, raising the stakes for him to step up and deliver in this game. With a 3.50 ERA, 16 homers allowed, 26 strikeouts, and 39 walks, Wacha has shown the ability to keep his team in games, and he'll need to do that again. On the other side, Woods-Richardson has been more inconsistent. His 3.95 ERA may look solid on paper, but he's struggled to go deep into games, wearing down as the season progresses. In his last 2 starts, he allowed 3 runs in fewer than 4 innings against the Rays and 4 runs against the Braves. These short outings have put a lot of pressure on the Twins' bullpen, which has been struggling lately. Speaking of bullpens, both teams have had their issues. The Twins' bullpen has posted a 5.58 ERA in their last 10 games, while the Royals are close behind with a 5.74 ERA. This means late-game leads could be shaky for either side. Looking at how these teams hit against right-handed pitchers, neither is particularly impressive. The Royals are hitting just .209, while the Twins sit at .223. That said, this game could come down to which bullpen holds up better or which team can capitalize on a timely hit. In the end, this game is more than just a regular season matchup. It's a critical moment in the playoff race, and both teams know it. Despite their recent struggles, the Royals seem to have a slight edge here. Michael Wacha has been more consistent, and playing at home should give them a boost. Meanwhile, the Twins' offense has been cold, scoring 4 or fewer runs in each of their last 5 games. Given that, the Royals look like the better pick in this one. I'm backing Kansas City to take this game and stay hot. The fourth prediction for today is for a game between the Seattle Mariners and St. Louis Cardinals. As I look ahead to the matchup between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Seattle Mariners, it's hard not to feel like both teams are just hanging on by a thread when it comes to playoff hopes. Sure, they're not technically out yet, but let's be honest, the odds are pretty grim. That's the thing about baseball, though. Just when you think it's over, this sport has a way of surprising you. Still, time is running out for both of these clubs if they're going to somehow make a push. Starting for the Cardinals is Miles Mikolas, and if you've been following his season, you know it's been a roller coaster. He's had some solid outings, but too often he just doesn't have it. Coming into this game with a 5.27 ERA and having allowed 22 homers over 153 innings, Mikolas has been more of a problem than a solution. His latest start against the Cubs was another rough one, and it's hard to trust him in this spot, especially with how inconsistent he's been. On the flip side, the Mariners are putting Luis Castillo on the mound. Now, Castillo has been Seattle's most reliable arm for a while, but even he's had his struggles this year. His 3.65 ERA and 23 homers allowed in 165 innings aren't exactly what we're used to seeing from him. I mean, this is statistically his worst season in 5 years. He's still racking up strikeouts, 167 of them so far, but the offense just hasn't had his back, and that's made it tough for him to win games. His last 3 outings haven't been great either, with a 5.82 ERA, so he's really going to need to step it up here. It's crazy to think that the Mariners once had a 10-game lead in their division, and now they're sitting 5 games out of a wild card spot. Talk about a collapse. It almost makes you wonder if it's better to have a season like the White Sox, where the writing was on the wall early instead of having everything fall apart at the worst possible time. Offensively, both teams are still getting it done, with the Cardinals hitting .279 and the Mariners at .265 over their last 10 games. But let's talk about the Cardinals' bullpen. It's been a disaster. They've got a 5.35 ERA, which could open the door for Seattle if this game turns into a bullpen battle. Now, I've been fading the Mariners for a while, and honestly, it's paid off. But I've got to say, this matchup feels like the perfect time to back them. Castillo may not be having his best year, but he's still a top-tier pitcher. On the other hand, Mikolas has been a mess, especially at home. With the Mariners still clinging to a slim chance at the playoffs, they need this win badly. My money's on the Mariners to come out on top in this one. They've just got more on the line.